Hi, welcome to Vic and Vern Sports Chat. I'm Vern.
And I'm Vic, and welcome to Defcon Rugby, the Defcon Rugby show, we'll put it that way. Today is a special little show. We're not going to talk about any Six Nations or anything. We thought today because it's, we've had the Rugby Championships that are finished. We've had the Six Nations that are finished. We're going to build our World Rugby 15 plus the reserves, of course. And Vern's going to pick his, I'm going to pick mine. We'll see where we concur, where we have the same, and where we absolutely don't. We do. Beforehand, we said it has to be a 5-3 split. So we did a 5-3 split. You can have, in your 5-3 split, you can have, in those five, you can have 5 loose forwards if you want. You can have, in your 3, you can have 3 scrum halves, 3 fly. You can do whatever you want. But
no,
I think my team will rock and beat your team, but we'll see. We'll see.
You can't. You
Are
can't
you
go
ready?
traditional.
Are you ready? Well, we're going to start off like this. It's quite easy. I'll let you know. Before we start off because I've got a hell of a lot of things to put out there today. It's unbelievable.
I've still got something to say.
You've always got something to say.
I've always got something to say, yeah. If you guys are in the chat, and which I hope a lot of you are, we'll go through every position, and we'd love to know your position, your person, which player would you pick? So get into the chat, tell us which player we'll pick. We'll take
and don't be biased.
Huh?
Be telling everybody, be open. I don't want a New Zealander putting 50 New Zealanders in there.
No. Be open. We will take our time on all the positions so you guys can get your favorites in there.
All right. Well, before we do that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button on our way to 147,000. And if you want to get hold of us, if you want to send us your whole 15 plus reserves, do that.
That would be super interesting. Do that, guys. I'd love to see what other people think, because I normally only get what dumbass thinks here next to me there. And
is that the guy you talk to in the mirror, dumbass? I got it.
No, that's you, dumbass.
There you go. So let's start this World Rugby 15 plus reserves. We could say 23, but there 23, you go.
23, Vic. It's not 23.
There you go. So World Rugby. First, we start with the World Rugby 11. So start me off, then. Who have you got playing? Our number one is what is that? The
tight head.
The tight head prop. Who have you got as your tight head prop?
Well, there's only one man I think about that one. There's only one man that fills that bracket. There's only one man on the planet.
Well, get to the fucking guy, man.
There's only one person, Vic. It is the man himself, Mr. Oxenchair.
I thought you were going to take an Englishman. So it is. So you going with Ox? So we'll put Ox on your side. Huh?
You could make Ox a bit bigger.
No, that's fine. Like that. So we'll put Ox on your side. You going for Ox, and surprisingly, I also went for Ox. So
Vic, tell me what you like about old Ox.
Well, you got to ask me what don't I like about him. Look. I actually always thought he was older than he actually is.
He looks older than
I thought he was around about the 35, 36 mark, but he's not. He's only around like 30, 31 or 30.
Yeah.
But look, he hasn't played well for my Sharks, let's be honest. But no one plays well for the Sharks.
No one plays well for them.
I don't care who you are. You come to the Sharks, you dive in. You're going down. But now look, he is just the power he brings in the scrums. His tackling is phenomenal. I think he's got a good offload for a big man as well. Yeah. He gets over the ball for his size. He's actually quite agile.
Yeah.
So that's why I like Ox. And listen here, he should have got World Rugby Player of the Year.
Yeah, sorry, he's the loose head prop. He's the loose head.
Loose head. There you go.
I always mix up those two.
Yeah, you talk shit. We know that. So no, I thought Ox. You went with Ox. I went with Ox.
Yeah, nobody in the chat.
Doesn't worry. They can chat later. Then your hooker, not the prostitute for you Americans. Who are you going on hooker?
She's got to be dark-headed. No, never mind. The hooker. Also, I only see one person. One person only.
Okay.
Mr. Malcolm Marx.
Malcolm Marx. Wow. Whoa. So Vern's got Malcolm Marx in his camp, and I have to agree, I also went with Malcolm Marx. Now, people are probably going to think these two dumbasses are going to put out all South Africans there. Yes, but those two positions, I do think they're the best in the world on those positions.
Not just that, Malcolm Marx, World Player of the Year, Oxenchair was in the top 4 as well. I mean, you got to put those two in.
Look, I would have. There's some other people, but I would have. I've got the other people on the bench. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Then the other prop. Tell us which one that is.
The
tight head prop. Who are you going for?
Well, the tight head prop was for me. It was a tough one for me. I must say, it was a tough one. But now I was just looking because of course, we are both a bit Six Nations prone because that was the last competition we watched. We haven't seen the Springboks for a while, so I was a bit swaying in that one, and I love that Italian scrum. So I'm going with Mr. Simone Ferrari.
So you're going with Simone Ferrari. There he is. Some of the players on the national team dress, some are not. So you're going with Simone Ferrari. So let's put him on your side. So your front row is Ox, Malcolm Marx, and Ferrari.
Yeah, and a word to Ferrari. I just think the Italian scrum has come on leaps and bounds. I know you got Canone brothers in there as well, who played fantastically as well. You got Nicotera, the hooker, who played well as well. He played very well in the Six Nations. So Morna goes Wilco Low. Yes, Wilco Low was on my list as well. But I thought, he hasn't played really well for the Bulls either. So we will see. That was mine, Mr. Ferrari.
So you went with Ferrari instead of with Lamborghini. So you took Ferrari. I'm going with the Frenchman, my friends. I'm going with Dorian Alderete. I thought he was sensational in the Six Nations. I've been watching him now a little bit. He plays well for Toulouse as well. Now I went Alderete. So Alderete is on my side there. So that is my front three. So we just changed on the props there on the, what is it? The loose head.
The tight head.
Tight head prop, sorry. I'm going to lose my head. There you go.
That's just prop number 3, man.
Yeah, number 3s. There you go.
No, but I think you've got to shout out to Wilco Low, but he hasn't been playing that hot for the Bulls. I mean,
there's other players you could have gone for. Man.
And on the loose set, I could have taken that Reece Carey there for Wales. He played well as well, but nobody's taking Ox position, man.
All right, so now we go on to your 2 locks. Who have you got at lock, Vern?
Well, I'm going with the big Frenchman first. Mefu.
Emmanuel Miafu.
Yeah, he's a big boy, Vic. He's 27 years old, 2 meters 3, and weighs 140 freaking kilos, man.
Big boy. Another man from Toulouse, huh? So we'll put him on your side there.
I thought he was just an absolute beast. He tackled people. He was a monster. I like him, man.
Look, I gotta agree, he was good. I almost had him in, but I went with Tad Byrne. I thought this Six Nations, he was sensational. A lot of people are going to say, Rick, you South African, where's Eben and the boys? Well, the eye doctor, you can't put him in the team because if you're suspended for like fucking 6 months, you can't be in the team, right?
I would say so too, man.
There you go. So, and I mean, and Archie and all of those boys, I think Tad Byrne deserves to be in the squad. So, and your other lock, Vern, who is your other lock?
I went with Ruan Nortje.
You going with Ruan Nortje?
I see Janre is also with Ruan Nortje in there.
So Vern going with your Ruan Nortje, and I agree. I also went with Ruan Nortje. I think he's been the best lock in World Rugby in the last 12 months.
But he didn't play well against the Stormers, Vic. He dropped the ball a couple of times. But you like to have one blink, man.
No, but you see, these boys don't give a shit about the club. No. I'm not putting these guys on club form. If I put these guys on club form, most of them wouldn't even make it. I mean, I can't put somebody that plays in Japan on club form. Yeah. Ox wouldn't make it. Ruan Nortje, there would be no South Africans if I took club form.
Yeah.
So I've got to take international form. So that's our big 5 there. We'll call them the big 5. So we on 3 positions on the South Africans we kind of concur, and then on the others we kind of let it slip there a little bit. But there you go. There you go. So then your number 6, Vern, your first loose forward there.
Always depends now. Huh? South Africa plays 7, but we decided Peter Steff the toy, man.
No, you decided Ardie Surveyor.
Ardie Surveyor, left or right, it doesn't fucking
Doesn't
matter.
really matter. We just, it's a World 11. These guys are so good they can play left or right. Doesn't matter. So you go on Ardie?
Yeah, I'm going with Ardie. He's my... Ardie's just, I don't know, I just love the guy. He's mustard, man.
And I agree. I've also gone with Ardie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're both on the same thing there. I think Ardie Surveyor... we have to choose our captain at the end of the game, okay?
Yeah.
At the end of our rankings, we have to choose a captain. But for now, yeah, I agree with you, Ardie Surveyor. Who else have you got on your number 7?
No, wait. I've got to go quickly to the chat. We got, okay, Yanro you call count because he's a Bulls fan. Although he always votes against the Bulls, he goes Aldridge Lowe. No. That's all I'm saying. Aldridge Lowe, no. He's not
Megan
there
coming
yet.
here with, don't forget, Jorn Penix, the Berger brothers, Hendrickse. Hell no.
Hell no. Megan Person.
Okay.
No, Megan.
Because in South Africa, you give the number 7 the jersey, but in the rest of the world, that would be the number 6, but it doesn't matter. Ardie and Peter Steff. So, number 7, obviously, it's Peter Steff for all of us, right?
That's not even...
That's not a debate. So, you're going Peter Steff, I'm going Peter Steff to toy. Look, he's been injured a little bit now, but during the rugby championship, he was phenomenal.
I'm just going to say something. Janre, you're a dumbass. You're just coming up with Cameron Hanekom has been injured now for so long.
Cameron Hanekom wouldn't. He's not in the top 200 players in the world. He's cuck.
No, not yet.
He's cuck.
Cuck.
The best ability is availability, and if you're not available, you cuck. You don't bring me anything. He doesn't even play. He doesn't even start for the Bulls.
No.
Yeah, so how can you be in the World 11 if you don't start for the Bulls? No. Then after Peter Steff du Toit, we've got to look at our number 8. Who have you got for your number 8?
Well, yeah, I must say, my number 8, there was actually not a competition.
You wanted to go for Caleb Doris, I know.
Fuck no, man. No, that boy, no. I went for the only man that can take that number 8, the Dark Destroyer. That is Jasper Visser.
The Terminator.
The Terminator, baby.
The how do you say, the Highfeld Terminator.
The man that's always borderline.
He's borderline red card every game. You know, but I agree with you. I've gone with Jasper Visser. You've gone with Jasper Visser. So that is our pack. I hope you guys think I think our pack is quite strong, man.
Let's go through them again. I'll do mine. You can do yours. My front row is Oxenchair, Malcolm Marx, and Simone Ferrari. Then I'm going with Emmanuel Mefu from France and Real Nortier. And my loose forwards are Ardie Surveyor, Peter Steff du Toit, and Jasper Visser.
Well, my team is this. Look, me and Vern got the exact same team. The only places that I've changed is position 3 and 4. I've gone, obviously, with Dorian Alderweireld of France and Tad Byrne of Ireland. Megan asks, we need Scottish players in this team. There wouldn't be one Scot in the pack, let's be honest. No, let's be honest. Which Scotsman takes any of these players' place?
I mean, Piers Koeman had a good tournament, but he's not taking Ox's place.
No, there you go. So we've got our pack, we've got all that. Vern, who is your scrum half? This may be the biggest question of them all. Who's your scrum half?
Okay. Scrum half, are you going to get rid of the pack there at the bottom?
No, don't worry about it. Just let me do my thing.
Okay. My scrum half, I thought he had a fantastic Six Nations. Jameson Gibson Park.
There you go. You go in Gibson Park. Look, it was either Roygaard, Gibson Park, or Dupont. You've gone with Gibson Park, so we'll put him on top there. Me, I went with a player that I like a lot. I've gone with the New Zealander Cam Roygaard. I like him. I just think the speed of ball from him, when he gets the ball out of his maul so quickly. He's got a beautiful little kick over the top. I mean, I think he's just as good as Dupont on the kicking. I just think he's a little bit more agile when he needs to run himself. Dupont looks to me has lost the step in the last few years, also but due to his big injuries that he's had.
Yeah, and that's what
I do have him later in my team.
But I must say, I think Jameson Gibson Park, just the way he controls the game and everything, he's not as quick as Roy God, but he's very clever, and that's why I like him. I just want to go quickly.
Janray only knows South Africa. Grant Williams is cuck.
Grant Williams not in the top 10.
He's not even the best South African flipping fly half. Scrum half.
He's not. But I want to listen. Matt Dickinson, Roy God. You got to go with Cam Roy God, and Vic did go with Roy God there.
I did, man. Of course you go with Cam Roy God. Listen here. Let's be honest. Grant Williams is behind. My third one would be Dupont, and my fourth one would be Kobus Reinach. Then I'd have Cortis Ratima. Then I'd have Morne van der Berg before I have Grant Williams.
Yes.
There you go. So who's your fly half? That's a big one.
I'll have to go with another Frenchman.
Well, wait, let me guess what Janre's going to say. Either Sasha or somebody like that.
Chris Smith. Okay.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay. You have just disqualified yourself from this chat.
We seriously have to think about stopping the channel because we have such dumbasses in the channel.
Fucking hell. So you gave it, who is your fly half?
My fly half is Mathieu Chalabert.
Been very good in the Six Nations. Very good. I like him a lot. I think he's good. That's a good choice for you. You going with Jalabert there. So you got Gibson Park and Jalabert are your two skill positions there. Me, I got to go Scottish here, my friends. I got to go Scottish. I'm going Scottish. I'm going Finn Russell. I thought he played it. Listen here. He's the main reason Scotland were this good in the Six Nations. His kicking is unbelievable. I wouldn't have him kick. Listen here. He's in the team. It's kind of like Jalabert for you. I think we've got him both in the team, but we won't let them kick.
I won't, no.
And I also think that Finn Russell, he reads the game so well. You know, he knows when to kick. He knows when to give the grubber. He knows when to go over the top. He knows when to kick for touch. His decision making makes him, for me, world class.
Yes, but he's not fast. He's not quick.
Sometimes that's the problem with those South African flipping fly halves. The Marnies and the thing. They're so fast that they're actually slow again. They fuck up. There you go. So I'm going Finn Russell. So I got Roy God and Russell, and you've got Gibson Park and Jalabert. Yeah, interesting. I think number 11. I don't think there's anybody in the world that doesn't take this number 11, right? I don't think it's a surprise. Louis Lelier Barry. There you go.
LBB, man.
Right about now, Vern. Right about now, he's either number 1 or 2 best player on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even talk about the Andre stuff anymore.
No.
He's either the world's best rugby player right now or the second best rugby player on the planet right now.
It's hard to say a rugby player. It's the same as in football. You choose the best. I think you should break it down.
But he's the best forward in the world.
No, best back.
Best back in the world, sorry. There's nobody 11, 12, 13 or 14 that's better than him right now.
Yeah, but he plays wing. So I think it's hard. I think you should break that down a bit more. But listen here, he's definitely the most, I call it, the MVP. He is the main player. And I think if you had to pick a team on the planet, he would be first on your list.
So we both chose him. So he's in our team. He is by far, last year everybody's talking about who's the best young player on the planet. Is it Sasha? Sasha can't clean this boy's boots, man.
No.
Or what was the other guy that were talking about? Pendergast or Pollock. They can't clean this man's boots. This man will go down in rugby history, I think, as the all-time leading try scorer if he stays healthy.
If he stays healthy, definitely, man.
Because he's had, 28 games, 31 tries international. He's got more tries than games.
But he doesn't play in the scrub games. No, he doesn't play against Namibia or against Botswana or something like that. He plays the top games, and that's when he scores the
exactly.
tries.
It's easy. It's easy to score 10 tries when you play against Absurdistan. But it's not that easy. Okay, it's easy to score 4 tries when you play against England as well. Let's be honest. But no English in the team so far. No English. Then who have you got as your number 12? Is one of your centers?
Inside center, I'm going with somebody that really impressed me. Mr. Minancello, baby.
Tommaso Menoncello, I thought he was fantastic. So you got Menoncello, and I got to agree, I've also got Menoncello in there. Look, I could have put another player in there. I switched it around a little bit, but he deserves to be in the squad because he played an unbelievable Six Nations.
You know what the cool thing is? He is going next season to Toulouse.
Oh, he's going to be a superstar there. They're going to have a squad there, Toulouse.
Superstar. And he breaks that line so many times. He's really a great centre, man. I must say, fantastic.
He is. Is he the best Italian rugby player right now?
He's definitely the superstar, yes.
He is Italy's answer to Suwali or to something like that, right?
Or to Sasha in South Africa now, yeah.
When people talk about the superstar Sasha, I want to throw up on the channel.
It's not my opinion. That's all these pundits and stuff that blows so much sugar up that boy's ass.
There you go. Then, your other centre, who are you going there for, Vern?
My other centre, a person I thought played fantastic in the Six Nations, Stuart Gator McCluskey.
You're going with Stuart McCluskey, the man from Ulster, the man from Ireland. I thought he played sensational in the Six Nations.
Fantastic, man.
Good job there. So you got old Gator McCluskey in there, Stuart McCluskey. Good job. I had to go. This is a little bit more heart over head in this one for me. I've moved him around. I had to get him in my team. I've gone for my boy there, the Alinda. I think he's sensational because I think he's the best defensive centre in World Rugby.
Oof. Listen here.
Come on. Remember during the Rugby Championship, the amount of balls he won, chasing them down, getting over the top. You know, people only look at what's going forward. I don't. Because of him, South Africa's defense is so good.
That's what I liked about McCluskey. I was one game, who did he play there where he chased somebody down that was super fast? I can't remember. He chased him down, tackled him as well. That's what I like about McCluskey as well. He can break the line. Defense is good as well.
Hugh Jones could have also been a shout. The Scotsman, Hugh Jones, played a good Six Nations. Let's be honest.
No, Cannon Moody. Janre says Cannon.
Cannon Moody doesn't play half the games. Here we go. Then, who have you got as your other winger?
There can only be one person for that one. That's Cheslin Colby.
No, there's another person. You going with Chesy?
I'm going with Chesy, man.
You going with Cheslin Colby? Now me, I've done an audible here. I've done a, how do you say? You know, I've taken my joker here. Why are you taking Cheslin before I come to my joker? I'm going to take a sip. It's going to take long.
Let me take a sip. I've been actually following him now a bit in that Japanese league. And he's been scoring tries. He's the kicker in his team there for the Sun Goliath. So I'm not worried if we don't get Andre Pollard or Mani or Sasha not kicking because Cheslin can kick, man.
He's been kicking really well. I've watched some of those Japanese games. His kicking is amazing at the moment. So you've gone Cheslin. I've made an audible here. I've taken my joker here because normally he would play 15, but he has played a lot of 14 also for New Zealand. I have put Will Jordan on the 14 because this man is just amazing. When anything up and under, I don't think anybody catches the ball in World Rugby better than him on an up and under defensively. He chases stuff down. He has a great kick across the field. He's quick. So I've gone with Will Jordan here. That's kind of my audible move. I've moved players around a little bit. So I've gone with Will Jordan. I think the next one is not a surprise. Again,
no. Who's
your fullback? I can tell you now who fucking Janre is going to come up with. Janre is going to come up with Willie Leroux. I'm going, I think there's only one fullback in World Rugby at the moment. I think, personally, he's the best player on the planet right now.
You just said Louis Bill Barry was the best player.
I said one or two for Barry. I got him at one. Thomas Ramos is by far. I don't care if you're a fullback, if you're a fly half. I don't care. Anybody that's kicking the ball in World Rugby, there isn't a better kicker in World Rugby right now than Thomas Ramos.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. About a year ago or 2 years ago, if you said who do you have to somebody to kick for your life, you would have said Andre Pollard. But at the moment, it's this man.
Listen here. South Africa, England, everybody Maybe New Zealand not, because they can still got Will Jordan that can do that job. But he is by far the best fullback in world rugby. The second guy is so far behind, he needs the bloody Hubble telescope to check out how far he's ahead.
Yeah.
Ramos, I think we both got Ramos there, so that's good. So that is our World Rugby 15 from each of us.
Ooh. Wait. Let's go through that back line again. I've gone with Jamison Gibson Park on the fly half, Mathieu Jalabert on the fly. Jamison Gibson Park on the scrum half, Mathieu Jalabert on the fly half. I've got Louis Bielbarri on the left wing. My centers are Menoncello and McCluskey. And my right wing is Cheslin Colby, and my fullback is Thomas Ramos.
And I went for Cam Roygard, Finn Russell. My left wing is Bielbarri. My right wing is Will Jordan. My two centers are Damien Dialinda and Menoncello. And of course, the fullback is Thomas Ramos. We did both pick our reserves, and we'll put that out for you guys now. You can run through your reserves first, and then I'll do mine. So we went for a 5-3 split on the bench, remember?
Yeah. 5-3 split on the bench. I went, of course, with two props. That is James Slipper and Tag Furlong. I think Slipper, he's now the most capped player in the Super Rugby.
Most capped Australian, most capped everything, man.
Everything. He's playing well for the Brumbies. I went with James Slipper and Tag Furlong for my props. And my hooker is Dan Sheenan. My reserve lock is Will Skelton. I think he played a fantastic there for the Aussies in the championship. And my loose forward, I could have gone with two Argentinians. I went for Pablo Montera, but I also like one Martin Gonzalez. I thought he played absolutely fantastic as well. There are a lot of good loose forwards there. You could have gone with the
Marco van Staden.
Kramer, also an Argentinian. So I thought I put an Argentinian in there. I went for Pablo Montero. Then, of course, my reserve scrum half is Antoine Dupont. I don't have to say much about that. I didn't put in a reserve kicker because I don't need a reserve kicker. I've got Thomas Ramos, I've got Mathieu Jalabert, and I've got Chessie in the team who can kick. So I went with Andre Esterhuizen. I think he's absolutely mustard. I can put him anywhere on that team.
He's probably the most versatile rugby player on the planet.
Without a doubt. And then my other back will be Will Jordan, because you can also put him on the wing or on the fullback position.
Will Jordan can play anything from 11 to 15.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went two props and a hooker. I only went one hooker and one prop because, I'll just let one of them play through. I'm just like that. It doesn't matter to me. I can also take Andre Esterhuizen and he can play prop or hooker. It doesn't matter. There you go. But I went Ethan de Groot. I think he's fantastic, the New Zealander. I agree with you. The hooker, Dan Sheehan. I would have also went with Dan Sheehan. Then I went with one lock and two loose forwards. I went with Tupavai as my lock, Wallace Titi as one of my loose forwards, and Rob Valentini as my other loose forward. We agree on Antoine Dupont. We agree on Andre Esterhuizen. Esterhuizen just gives you the flexibility to say that your system is actually a 5-3 or a 6-2.
Yeah.
And then you got Will Jordan. I've already got him in my team. And I went Damian Penaud. I know he didn't play a lot this year, but come on. The last 2-3 years, he's been the superstar for France. The man scores tries for fun. Can you imagine if he was fit to play in the Six Nations? Then that Six Nations would have been over before it even started.
Yeah, but listen here. I don't know why he didn't play.
Look at that. Did France need him?
Oh, look at that. Matty says because of that terrible bench, Vern's team is better. Of course it is. What did you think, man?
My team would wipe your team, man.
No, it's a very close team.
I think. Look. Let's give a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 starters that are the same. And then on the bench, we've got 9. Another one, 9, 10, 11. Plus Will Jordan is 12. So we've got 12 players out of the 23 that we agreed on. But we mix it up. Look, there's no Englishman in the squad. There's no Welshman in the squad. There's nobody from Japan in the squad, but we've got Argentinians, Italians, French, you know. So I think it's a nice mix-up. Listen, it's your 15 or your 23. It's my 23. If I ask 1,000 people on the street, I'll get 1,000 different 23s.
That is true. That is so true. And to going on that one, guys, get your in the chat or get us an email. Tell us your 23. That would really interest us a lot. What
we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing in about, with 1 year to go till the World Cup. We're going to do who should play for South Africa in the World Cup. But we're going to do it with 33 players, and me and Vern are going to have to concur on that one. So we'll see. We'll pick our 33-man squad. You guys can join us for that. That's coming up soon. I like this idea. Of course, I mean, look, there are players. You can change a lot of players here. I mean,
of course.
I mean, look, Kalen Doris. I know you're not a fan of his, but he could be in the squad.
Definitely.
Hugh Jones could be in the squad.
Definitely.
I'm not a fan of his. The Moro Itoje could have been in it for. He wouldn't be my 1 or 2 choice at that. I'd rather have RG before I put Moro Itoje in there, but he could be in there. They are Caleb Clark, Leroy Carter, Curtis Rakima. We don't even have Bowden or Geordie Barrett in there.
We haven't got Eben Etzebeth in there.
No, Eben's at the eye doctor. You can't put him in. But no, we don't have Andre Pollard in here. We don't have Cannon Moody in here. We don't have Kirkley Arness in here. I thought Ethan Hooker played a great season. But I mean, Ethan Hooker plays, what does he play, 11? Am I going to take Bill Barry for Ethan Hooker right now? No. I mean, I wouldn't have had Cheslin in here. I mean, one of my favorite players. I don't have Jesse Creel on this thing. Gabizi, the Canone brothers played really well. You could have put them in there. From the Irish, what's the fullback there from Ireland that plays so well as well? There's a lot of players you could have had in.
Yeah, you could have had. I mean, you could have still had. I mean, Pierre Skuman could have been in there. Kyle Steyn could have been in there from the Scots. You could have had Rory Darsh, who played really well.
You could have had Finn Baxter in there, Finn Smith, Marcus Smith played a good Six Nations. They are
your friend Moro Itoje.
Look, I actually had someone in the back of my mind, Fletcher Newell. Another one there. Listen, it's tough. We are actually blessed at the moment. World Rugby's blessed with a hell of a lot of good players from a lot of countries.
Yeah, it's so much. International rugby is so fun to watch at the moment.
Who's that guy that plays sevens for Argentina? The big guy that fucking destroys everybody. Also Gonzalez.
Garcia.
No, there's a lot of choice, but that's our World Rugby 11 stripe 23. I'm happy with my team. If you could now choose your captain for this team. We haven't done that. Ooh. Who's captaining this team for you?
Wow, that's a good question.
Who do you think would captain your team?
I'd have to give it to either Ardie Savea or Peter Steph du Toit.
You're going with Ardie Savea, Peter Steph du Toit. Now that is an interesting choice for me. That is interesting. Me personally, I'm going with Malcolm Marx or Finn Russell.
Okay.
Because I think I like to have my captain, yeah. But Ardie, yeah, of course you can go for Ardie. You can go for Peter Steph du Toit. You can't go with Jasper Visser because you never know if he loses his cool. Thomas Ramos could be the captain.
Thomas Ramos could be the captain. Jalabert could be the captain.
Delinda could be the captain for me, Damien Delinda.
You've got to have a certain age to be captain.
Yes, I think so too. Look, we don't really have a very young squad, let's be honest. Ox, Peter Steph, Malcolm, Visser, Ardie, Rowan Nokia is captain material. But we've got a few older guys in there. I mean, the youngest guy is obviously Bill Barry. I mean, look, if we had Anton Dupont in our starting lineup, both of us, I think we would have agreed he should be captain.
Yeah, I think Audio. No, I'd still go with Audio Peter Steph.
But I do like Cam Roygaard better than your guy Gibson Park.
It's a choice.
And I think, but it would be interesting if we could clone these guys and let them play against it. It would be an interesting match. I think the pack would equal itself out.
The back line would equal it out because we only got the centers that are the one center is a bit different and the one winger. That's not going to be much of a difference.
Yeah, and of course the 9s and 10s on both teams are different.
Isn't it? Janra has now asked for the 72nd time. Vic, are you doing this both Stormers games?
I mean both Stormers games.
Well, they're playing one Stormer game is against the Dragons on Sunday, and another one is against the Seattle Seawolves.
I don't do Seawolves my arse.
Well, let's take a look when the game is, and I might think about it because that would be interesting. We'll do American.
We're doing the one on Verns. You doing that one on Sunday?
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But but if they're playing 2 games on one day, then the one team's going to be cuck.
Well, the one against the Seattle, but you don't want to play your best team against Seattle anyway.
Well, not that because you got to win the one on against what's his name. But that's
we'll see. I don't even know if it's at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not doing it. You know.
Nah, hell no. Now listen here. That is our team. I'm happy with my team. You happy with your team?
This was
you
fun,
guys.
man.
You guys might. You might. How do you say? Not agree with us, but that's fine. It's just our personal opinion. You know, in 3 weeks, my team could have 8 changes.
Definitely.
There was possibilities there. But that's our Defcon Rugby Vic and Verns World 23. We'll call it the World 23. Huh? So, guys, thanks for joining. It was a great time we had here. I enjoyed doing it. And
fun,
we'll see each other soon. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao, guys.